We are back. We are back. We are back, and it feels good. Adam Luckett here, Kentucky Sports Radio Rapid Reaction. We got a Rapid Reaction debut. Jeff Drummond is in the house, and we're here to talk a little football today on, I want to call it a beautiful spring day, Jeff, but maybe just a typical spring day here in the Bluegrass. Kentucky offense 23, defense 18, and a weather-shortened spring game here at Kroger Field. Half the stadium you couldn't sit in. They didn't have bleachers on the visitor side, which was kind of made for a unique aesthetic today. But Jeff, Will Stein starts off his era. I mean, really the first time I think fans, and really even us, got to see the team in action. What were just some of your takeaways from the game today?
Yeah, even though it was cut short, and Will Stein seemed to be very happy to do that with the weather that was closing in and everybody being healthy to that point in the game. He was like, let's just cut it off here. But the fans seemed to be really appreciative to get a look at the offense and the defense. We've heard a lot of hype on both sides of the ball about what these guys are bringing to the table, and they got to see a lot of examples of that today, even in a shortened format.
Yeah, I thought you hit on two big things that I think it's kind of the huge takeaway from today. Number one, just offensively, and not necessarily their approach or attack, but just what Kenny Minchey looks like. People haven't seen Kenny Minchey. He didn't play much in Notre Dame. There's been a lot of expectations for him. He's stepping into a system where every quarterback under Will Stein has been kind of a rock star ever since Stein has called plays. So we didn't really know what to see. It was a lot of projection with him. I think with Minchey, to me, Jeff, I think you saw the accuracy and kind of the ball placement really kind of showed up today. I think you could see, he can move around a little bit. And he had a productive day. I believe every drive but the first drive he led, at least they got into the red zone. One of them was a missed field goal, I believe, on the second drive of the day. After the early, I think it was like a 4-and-out. I think they got a first down and then 3-and-out after that. But Minchey, I think he kind of showed a little bit of what he brings to the table, and he did it without the guys he's going to be throwing to on Saturdays or handing the ball to off on Saturdays.
And some of the guys that are going to be protecting him.
Right, and the big guy at left tackle. So very short-handed in a lot of key positions on offense, but you saw what Minchey, I think, can bring to this offense. And number one, I think, very comfortable in the pocket. I thought he stood tall and made some tough throws over the middle, accuracy, ball placement, and very good in the RPO game.
A couple of those third down throws really stood out to me. They were absolute darts. Mm-hmm. And fans will love the way he uses the entire field. We've seen some quarterbacks in the past that get locked into certain areas, throw into parts of the field that weren't always high percentage completion areas. Kenny threw some darts I know there was one to Kaufman to extend the drive. There was one to Willie Rodriguez in the 2-minute drill.
Yeah, up the seam, yeah.
That was absolutely beautiful. People have been calling for that for years. Use these tight ends as big threats down the field. And, Stein said again afterwards, we'd be crazy if we weren't to take advantage of Willie Rodriguez's skills. Yeah,
we don't have stats, but it felt like Willie had 3, 4, 5 catches today. Another one of my more impressive throws Minchey had was across the middle to Henry Boyer on a big third down, 3rd and long. 2 guys all over Boyer. He kind of put it where only Boyer could get it. His first throw of the day, or second throw of the day, I believe, was to Caden Ferguson on the sideline, or Prince Jean on the sideline, back shoulder, put it right on him really early. I think you saw that throughout the day. He missed Jacaden Ferguson on one of those RPOs across the middle, threw it behind him. Could have been a walk-in touchdown from about 25 yards out. But overall, Minchey got in a little trouble when he broke the pocket. But overall, I think you saw the command, the accuracy. We didn't see a ton from Kentucky's running game, but again, very injured, very banged up there, and then missing some guys on the offensive line. But to Jeff's next point, the other big takeaway I kind of had from today, Jeff, was just, I'm calling it a mentality shift. Just how they're operating on defense is different. How they're playing is different. It's just going to look different. I think you saw that displayed a little bit today.
They're going to come after and attack offenses, and we saw that today. Even though the playbook was dialed back, we didn't see a great deal of what Bateman's going to show in the fall in the games, but we saw little hints of it, and I think he's got the personnel to pull it off. The more I watch it, especially from this defensive line up front, if they can get some pressure off the edges like we saw flashes of today, it could make the whole thing work.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a huge part of it. Stein's talked a lot about Bateman and A&M, like the third down package at A&M. I feel like I've heard that phrase in some form or fashion 1,000 times since he's hired them, and that's going to be a big thing. It's going to be just pinning your ears back and going on third down. But to do that, I think they feel like they've got to have guys that can cover in the back end. Cornerback entered this spring as a real big question mark, but every time Tyron Nichols is brought up, that coaching staff just gushes about him.
Heaps praise. It sounds like they think he has the potential to be a real star. And we're starting to hear some more of that for Grant Grayton, too. Mm-hmm. It's kind of flown under the radar a little bit compared to other guys, but they like the potential he's got on the other side. If you can come out of this with two corners, usually one corner can make a big difference in this league, but two, that's when you really start talking about having a great defense.
Yeah, absolutely. Then they got the safety guys they feel really, really good about. Ty Bryant, again, they bring him out to talk today. It's clear that they kind of feel like he's a captain, kind of face of the program type guy. And then just defensively, I think the front stood out. You saw big Jamarian Harkless in there, got a sack in the second half. But you've got known commodities up there, Jeff, with Tavion Gatson, Myquise Humphrey-Grace. So they do feel like I think that group can be a pretty big impact unit for them this season.
Yeah, I was impressed with Harkless, the way he moved. I had envisioned him more because I didn't get to see Purdue play a whole lot while he was there. But I thought he was more of a run stuffer, kind of occupy blockers, let the linebackers go, make plays. But his footwork today for a man his size was really impressive.
Yeah, I think, again, and that's important because in this scheme, you do need him to do – you need big body types like him to go in there and do the dirty work, right? To stuff gaps, maybe hold up two blocks and just be firm in there and keep your linebackers clean so they can run and chase and tackle. But you also need to be able to move and twist and stunt because that's a lot of this defense. There's going to be a lot of post-snap, pre-snap movement, and you're going to ask some of these defensive tackles to move around some and not just play straight up all the time. So it's going to be different, and I'll point to this. I think about this, Jeff. There's what thing I thought about. They did a thing like a XFL thing today. They did a 4-point play from the 10-yard line. It ends up in a F-it ball from Kenny Minchie that kind of gets intercepted. But just the structure of a 4-point play, I don't think the previous regime would have even messed around with something like that, right? Like, we wouldn't even consider doing, or even thinking, I think, to do something like that. But this group is just going to think and operate different, and we've kind of seen glimpses of that, I think, really throughout the spring.
We saw a couple of examples of that today. The other one was the 2-minute drive and the clock management. At the end of the first half, everybody was kind of looking around going, what is this? Is this what it's supposed to look like?
Yeah. I mean, not to say one way's wrong or one way's different, bad or good, yada, yada, but I've brought up this point a lot. Things are just different. How they operate is different. They are going to go for two. They are going to go for it on fourth down. They are going to play a more aggressive style of ball. And how they build, I think, the football team and organization is going to be through the quarterback. And they're going to ask a lot of the quarterback. And that, to me, that makes you good in 2 minutes. If you're asking a lot of quarterback, you're putting a lot on his plate, and you feel like he's one of your best players, I think you're going to have a good chance to it's easier to be aggressive, but also a better chance, I think, to succeed and execute in those situations. So it was on full display today. We got to see it all. Rain was short, but great crowd. Big Blue Nation showed up. KSR is here to cover it all. We'll be here all day. Rest of the day, check us out at KS Board, YouTube. You know where to find us.